I have no fear. I have no doubt. And if I died today, I've lived the most beautiful time of life. I have hundreds of thousands of letters in my file that if I never make a dime, if I never sell a horse, Glenn Turner, you have changed my outlook on life. I'm now selling twice the real estate I used to sell. I am now have more milk customers. It's whatever your thing is. That's what we are here to improve. And you that are listening to this record for the first time, the man tomorrow will ask you for a check. He'll ask you for $300, $700, $2,000, $5,000, or possibly even $5,500. Depends on what sector of the country you're located in. He'll ask you to put your money up. Because if you don't believe in it enough to pay for it, it's just like a college course. You're not going to get anything out of it. But the nice thing about Dare to Be Great, once you get the courses, we need agents. And if you qualify, you can become a sales agent and earn your money back. But 3 out of 4 of you won't get a thing out of this course. Not because you can't, it's because you disbelieve everything you take and everything you hear. And every time we cram it into you, somebody else will cram in a negative thought. And you'll listen to them more than you will us. And therefore you'll remain small and aimlessly all your life. It's unfair, but that's the way society is. 95% of the people are failures. They are failures because they listen to the other 95% who are also failures. You have to make a stand. You have to make up your mind. The difference between Dare to Be Grace and other motivation companies is simply this. Other companies will sell a franchise for a state or an area for a flat fee of $10,000 or X number of dollars. And then that one man, or he'll sell you a hamburger franchise for $30,000 or $100,000, or rug franchise, or what, name it. And then that one cat that can afford $30,000 or $100,000, which most of us cannot afford, will go out and hire a bunch of salesmen like yourself. And he'll con you into working for him for $10,000 or $20,000 a year while he makes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's okay, because the rich man stays rich, and you keep doing all the work. And this is a thought that you'll have in your mind. And this is what will happen to you when you ask your boss, do you think I can be great? You think he wants you to be great? If you become great, you won't work for him anymore. You got a good deal. Where you at, Charlie? Ask him, hey, boss, if I got such a good deal, why don't you work for me? Think about it. Most of you spend more time planning your vacation, 2-week vacation, than you will at planning your lives. Glenn Turner failed 3 times in business. 27 times as a salesman. Over 20 times my attitude fell to the ground and was lifted back up. By over 20 different salesmen, I lost my nerve. There's no shame in losing your nerve, backing out, or wanting to quit. It happened to the greatest men and women on earth at one time or another. Actors, politicians, lawyers. It'll happen to you sooner or later. It's not how hard you fall, it's how fast you get up and count. The only time you're failure is when you die and go to hell. Our course works this way. Once you take our courses, and you have the outlook and the attitude you should have, and you believe it, like you believe your religion, you may then apply for a sales agent position and go out and sell a course, a $300 course, and make yourself $100. You can sell a $700 course and make yourself $300. You can sell a $2,000 course and make yourself $900. And you can sell a $5,000 course or a $5,500 course and make yourself $2,000 or $2,500, depends on your local areas. What's wrong with that? You don't know what's wrong with it? It ain't fair. The poor people are making money. The poor people are getting rich. That nut's driving a Cadillac when he ain't even got but a 9th grade education. We don't like that. Keep him small. Tell him he's crazy. Get to his attitude. Keep him down. Don't let him know this is really America. Free enterprise is going to the dogs. Free enterprise is becoming big corporations. And I am fighting right now in the state of Florida for corporative tax. I believe there should be no personal income tax in America. And there's no call to be if corporations were taxed like they should be taxed. But that won't happen because your legislators are elected by the lobbyists and by the politicians and the other people who have been in control for years and years, and by the big people who own all the stock on the big board. And they ain't going to do that. They don't want you to make too much money. You're going business for yourself and you'll be competition. They don't keep your nose to the grindstone. And it's not your fault. But you're going to believe them. Because your computer has been told you can't do it. Your computer has been programmed to believe that you are small. You don't have the nerve. If I'd have had you since you were 6 years old, you would be great. You'd be unbelievable. I have a course now going into a private school which I own in Orlando, Florida. There to be great. Purchase. And we're teaching over 300 students from the first grade through the high school level to be great. Can you imagine what these kids are going to be at the age of 18 and 20 and 21? Wouldn't you like to have been taught this philosophy all your life, first class every day? You see, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd have been born in Russia, you'd be a communist. But you're born in America, so you're American. You had been programmed to believe in communism. And if you've been programmed to believe you're worth 5 and 10 and 20,000 a year, that's exactly all you're going to believe you're worth, and you ain't going to try to do nothing else. And if you do, somebody's going to tell you it can't happen to little old you. You're listening to a man that used to be shy and bashful. I was so less confident in myself that I went to sharecroppers to sell my ware. And the only reason I was a salesman, no one would hire me and give me a job. I could not speak to a crowd without my knees knocking. A crowd of 3 or 4 people. Lynn Turner has come a long ways. Lynn Turner has no fear. When you reach for the sun, you're bound to get a few blisters. But they heal fast. And it helps you grab the next rung of that ladder. And it makes that hand tough and strong to hold on when the wind blows and it tries to push you off. There to be great is a fighting company. It's a company with a backbone instead of a wishbone. It's a company that only the strong will join. It's the company that only the people with the guts. But it's a company that everyone will regret they didn't join in the beginning. And whatever you remember these words. Dare to be great. I have a 19-year-old boy that started out in one of my corporations. At the age of 20, he was a leader of a state. He was shy and he was bashful, and his mother and his father and everybody criticized him, laughed at him, made fun of him. They tried to get his money back for him. They worked and they connived and they schemed. And finally someone got a hold of him and got his outlook right and his attitude right. And this young man brings in $100,000 a month out of his state. He just got a promotion to a regional director, head of 4 states. And he brings out over $500,000 in cashier checks in 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. At the age of 22. Unbelievable? Sure, it's unbelievable. The man was exceptional, wasn't he? He's a born salesman, isn't he? I've seen baby boys and baby girls, but I've never seen a baby salesman. No. His thinking was unbelievable. You see, he made it. But 3 out of 4 of you won't. Because you won't believe what you hear. You won't lie to yourself. You won't look in the mirror and say, you're the greatest man in the world. Your wife won't look at you and say, honey, you are the greatest. You're the man I married. You're the king. And I believe in you. And you can do it if anybody else do it. I'll help you and I'll work side by side. And nobody will sway me. But you had a woman like that believe in you like that, nobody can stop you from becoming anything you want in this life. It's as simple as that. And you put your wife on a pedestal like you should, and praise her, and love her, and treat her like a lady, she would back you this way. In 10 years, I've never had a fuss with my wife. But you had a woman like that believe in you like that, nobody can stop you from becoming anything you want in this life. It's as simple as that. And you put your wife on a pedestal like you should, and praise her, and love her, and treat her like a lady, she would back you this way. In 10 years, I've never had a fuss with my wife. Hard to believe? Sounds like a con man, sounds like a liar, doesn't it? I don't have time to worry about little old things. I don't have time to pick and knit around. I've got to do something. I've got to help get this country back to what it ought to be, like it was when there was only 3 million people in America. When the philosophy was, if your house burnt down, you went over to help raise it up again with your neighbors. And now if it burns down, the idiot should have had some insurance. The meekest of men of history have become the leaders. If you check it out. A successful man or woman is only an ordinary man or woman who stayed on the job until it was done. That's daring to be great. And when you throw dirt, you're bound to lose ground. And I've never seen a statue erected to a critic. The only one I've ever read about is Socrates. And he had other things going for him besides critic, and I'm sure that's why it was erected. Dare to be great? It's not hard to be great. It's hard to believe that you can. It's simple once you make up your mind. And you know what you have to do? You let them meet for 40 minutes, 35 minutes on this record. You need to be living it daily. You need to be working with somebody and say, let's go, Charlie, we can do it together. Over and over and over and over again. But you won't hear this. You'll hear, he was lucky that kid on the record. I don't believe that junk no way. He conned you out of $5 for the record. That's how he got great. All kind of excuses. And I read a book. And I paid $1 for it. That's what my neighbor said. Hey, he made $1 million. He owed you $1 and another $999,000. That's the reason he's great. See, people are always this way. Don't criticize them. You know the only reason that road that you travel every morning to your work is paved? So that you may never see that you're working yourself into a rut. It's as simple as that. And the only difference between a grave and a rut is the depth. You got to have the confidence of a bullfighter who goes into the bull ring with mustard on his sword. Doing the impossible, it's easy to do the impossible because you don't have any competition. Because most of you on this record are not going to believe me. So we're never going to saturate the American market with a dare to be great philosophy. We're only going to influence the leaders. 2 years from now, if you're one of the few that chose not to join me, you'll see the filling station in town that's doing the most business. And you'll say, why is that filling station doing the most business? Somebody say he's one of them dare to be great nuts. He gives his men 1% on selling gas. He pays them extra money if they'll sweep out the yard. He pays them extra if they're courteous to people. He's got them selling tires at night, knocking on doors. He's one of them nuts and dare to be great. That's the reason he's making it. But it won't last. His attitude ain't last. He'll get unreligious sooner or later. He'll backslide because somebody will tell him it won't work. And he'll get smart and he'll believe it. And he'll fall back down the line. And then you'll see this doctor that's running around whistling every day. Oh, he's a happy jerk. I don't know where to go to that doctor or not. He might be laughing and cut me open at the same time. But he's the richest doctor in town. Well, I hate to tell you, but he's another one of them dare to be greaters. He hollers, great, 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 go, 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 which means golden opportunity. Can you imagine that old doc owns half the county now? What about the man running the hamburger joint? His people staying with him. One man's been with him 10 years. How come? Well, they love him. He treats them right. He knows how to handle them. When they get depressed, he knows how to motivate them. He has learned that course number 4, how to handle people. And that's the way Glenn Turner made it. He simply knows how to handle people. He had to learn it. That's why he made it. That's why he's got people working for him right on. That's why they don't have any trouble in their unions. That's why they don't have any trouble in the business. That's why the union can't get in that business. Whatever you want, whatever your goal is, if you know how to handle and work with people and give them the benefit of the doubt, it can come true for you as it come true for me. My wife don't deserve a nice home any more than yours. And 4 years ago, I had just as many weak thoughts as you got. 4 years ago, I listened to a record by another man saying, if I could only believe that. Oh, God, if I could only believe it can happen to me or hear it. an 8th grade dropout. It's a dream. I'm sitting here on this floor because they repossessed my chair. And I'm listening to a record I can't even afford. And they calling my wife every day, the bill collectors. If I could only believe that could happen to me. And when I started to believe it, I listened to it over and over again, and I read over and over again. And every time somebody told me it wouldn't work, I'd go back and I'd read those books. And I'd get my mind and get those negative thoughts out. And I finally clicked. It started to happen. And when it came in such great wealth and such abundance that it was hard to carry it to the bank. And the people that once laughed at me, I'm laughing all the way to the bank. And more important is what I'm doing with my wealth. Tomorrow I'll give a $73,000 check to Mrs. Emily Jones in Lebanon, Ohio, to build a crippled children's home, which they said we'd never do. We were dreaming. I paid cash for a $2 million building because nobody loaned us any money because we were dreamers. We were young. They didn't want to take a chance on losers. They did us a favor. It's a beautiful, wide, wonderful world that you and I live in. It's a world that your heart can beat with joy. And the greatest exercise you'll ever receive from your heart and for your heart is for you to reach down and help another fellow human being up. It's for you to make another person happy and joyous. I wish I could come through this record and appear sitting on your couch, or wherever you're at right now, and I can talk to you eyeball to eyeball, and I can show you the love and the concern that people in Dare to Be Great have for you. It's true we make money on you when you come into our business, but they make money on you when you go to church. They make money on you when you go to the hospital. They make money on you when they sell you life insurance. They make money on you when they sell you a hamburger joint or when you buy a hamburger. They make money on you when you go to the theater. The difference in Dare to Be Great is they allow, and we allow you to make money also along with us. We share our profits with you instead of let you always be the buyer. We then allow you to step on our side, the cash register. And you can have not only your greatness, but your investment back if you're willing to believe it and work. It may take you a year. It may take you 2 weeks. Some do it in a day. It may take you the rest of your life, and you may be one of those 3 out of 4 that will never make a dime. And the reason you'll never make a dime is you don't believe you will. It's as simple as that. Because whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve. The hardest thing about getting to the top of the ladder is getting from the crowd at the bottom. Life's battles don't always go to the strongest or fastest man. But sooner or later, the man or woman who wins is the man or woman who first is brainwashed into thinking they can. And you're brainwashed one or two ways. Into believing you can do something with your lives in your chosen field. Or you can't do something. If you're going to be brainwashed, why not be brainwashed the right way? The only difference in the Russians and the Americans, as I see it, is the Russians have one employer and we have many. Criticize, condemn the nation before investigation is a bad, bad way. I challenge you to investigate. Go to Florida and look for yourself. Come to Florida. Come to Reno, to Indianapolis, and we'll soon have them in your area. Dare to Be Great. All you have to do is believe it, and you can conceive it, and then it'll be achieved. I'd like to close by telling you a story that's true. Many years ago in Boston, an auctioneer was auctioning off fine furniture. And as he auctioned off fine furniture, for $10,000 a sofa was going. A bedroom suite for $22,000 went. An old man stepped into the back and up to the stand where the auctioneer was. And he was in rags, and he had a grope of beard, and he was dirty, and his clothes was torn in shreds. And he was weak from hunger, and he trembled as he walked. And he staggered up to the stage, and And he looked the auctioneer in his eyes with those pitiful eyes and said, "Sir, if you would auction off this musical instrument so that I might eat my supper." The auctioneer started to shoo him out. He started to run him out. But he noticed that there were some society riders in the audience. And he wanted to get a little plug for being a charitable auctioneer. So he decided that he would do his good turn for the day. And he took the instrument and he held it up very crudely, a bow and a fiddle. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I bid for the old fiddle and the old bow? It was rusty. It was dirty. Some old lady in the back had just paid $22,000 for a bedroom suit and said, "I'll help the old gent out to get some supper. I'll give 2, sir." Somebody else said, "No, give him 3. 4, 6. How about 7, 8, 10? Oh, now don't be so rough on the old man. Give him 12. And the bid finally reached $16. Going once, going twice. And the old man staggered to the stage and fell and crawled up on there and grabbed him by his knee. And said, "Sir, please, before you go any further, if I might demonstrate what you call a fiddle and a bow." And he took a rag from his back pocket and he began to shine on the bow. And it began to glisten in the light. It looked like silver. And then he shined up the instrument. And the old man laid the instrument under his chin. And with trembling hands, even before he started, he began to draw the bow across the string. The most beautiful music in the world had ever been heard by the society ladies of Boston in the 1800s began to flow from this instrument. The tears began to roll. You could have heard a pin drop. No longer was it a fiddle, but it sounded like a violin. It was the most beautiful concert music they'd ever heard. And then he placed it down on a satin pillar. And with tears in his eyes and the audience crying also, he walked off. The auctioneer, with a tear in his eyes, picked up the pillar gently and held it up. Says, "Ladies and gentlemen, now what am I bid for this magnificent violin and this wonderful bow?" $10,000, said one. 11, 12, 13, said another. Going once, going twice, but $28,000. What was the difference? It was simply the touch of the master's hand. You are the master wherever you are tonight. No matter what world you're in or what country, you're the master of only one thing you can be sure of, and that is your mind. And most of you have turned it into a computer, letting other people tell you what to do. Don't believe in nobody unless they're willing to share their profits with you. Don't you work for something that won't allow you to get part of the stock when it hits the stock market. Don't you believe in anybody unless they totally investigate the facts. Make your own decision. Get the facts from everyone, and then make the decision from the facts of all sides. I've enjoyed talking with you, and I look forward to the day when I meet you in public. And one thing I promise you, Glenn W. Turner will never, never, never give up. And nobody will ever stop us, because we're going to teach love throughout the world, unity and understanding, that all men deserve the right to make decisions for themselves. God bless you, each and every one of you, wherever you're at. Thank you.
Mr. Glenn W. Turner. Mr. Glenn W. Turner. Mr. Glenn W. Turner.